This is Eric Forrester, and I am the host of Curiosity Cast. And I'm talking today to my friend Janelle, and we're talking strengths. The Clifton Strength Finder is the vehicle where our strength conversation is coming from. I'm a certified coach in that, and Janelle has been a client of mine for a little while, and we've gone deeply into strengths over time. Today, we're just going to do I guess maybe a very quick dive into two or three of her strengths. Janelle, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So, Janelle, I'd like to ask you, I know you've thought of three different strengths we could work on today. Imagine those are not items on a list, but ingredients that you can use.
Mm.
Ingredients maybe of your personality, of your psyche, of your creativity, and I happen to know you like to cook, so maybe ingredients that you cook with. And you've written a book, so maybe ingredients that would go into a book title. Here's the reason I'm using that word. Ingredient actually comes from the words to step into. So we're
Oh,
stepping into strengths a little differently today. And I thought, why not use the word ingredient?
I love that. I love that.
Let us know which of your three strengths today are we would you like to talk about?
Let's start with restorative.
Restorative. Okay,
Yes.
really quickly to folks who don't know, restorative is uh, the strength that many people refer to as the problem solver. And it's about restoring things to whatever they may have been at one time. I like the term problem solver because that's how it's manifested frequently. Is that Janelle? Does that what I just said resonate with you, or is there another description of restorative that speaks to you?
It does. I picked this one because I would love to dive deeper into it to understand how it works with me.
So I'm going to guess here. I'm going to guess you actually like dealing with problems, don't you?
I do. It's in my strengths. It's one of them in my strengths. So
I
yes.
love the fact that you tell somebody they like to do with problems and they laugh. Just think of just how restorative is that to hear and see somebody laugh when they're talking about something that's a problem.
Yep.
I would call that counterintuitive, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Super, super. So in the with the idea of ingredients here, and you mentioned cooking and you mentioned cookies.
Mhm.
So what ingredient, if you're going to make some cookies, would what ingredient of a kind of cookie that you like would restorative be like?
Um, so something I do is, and I just was baking this morning. I will take a recipe and I will twist it and make it my own.
Mm,
So, I made up some banana bread muffins, and it calls for coconut oil. And I don't use coconut oil. I use applesauce instead. And I put in chocolate chips because banana bread is better with chocolate.
I've
Anything
never
is
had banana
almost.
bread with chocolate chips. Just saying.
You've never had, oh my goodness.
And I love banana bread. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Okay, which ingredient is restorative?
It's a little bit of all of them, isn't it?
I was just
It's
going to
like,
say, I'm hungry just hearing you, right?
yeah, because I restore the original recipe.
Interesting. And I was going to say, Janelle, when you mentioned one of the first things you mentioned is you put applesauce. And the first thing I thought is, oh, in place of sugar, in place of, now I don't know, maybe you still put sugar. And
There's no sugar in it. There's
so you got
absolutely
the
no
applesauce.
sugar in it.
So you're looking at, and I don't know, I'm going to read in here. And maybe sugar is a problem for you, maybe not, but you're doing something that's more restorative than sugar, applesauce,
Yeah.
something natural, right?
Yep. Well, I guess there is chocolate chips in there, so there is some
Yeah,
that
no, I
sugar
got that.
fat. So, but no, yeah, it's yeah, the sweetness from the sugar or from the applesauce, it does help give it a little bit of sweetness. So but they're not overly sweet.
So is it okay with you if, for the purposes of our talk today, that restore the ingredient for restorative is going to be applesauce?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah, that makes
And
sense.
by the way, when we do this kind of thing, folks, you can change it as soon as we go for a minute and you don't like applesauce, you can change it. That's the beauty of this. Cool. All right. Now, what about another of your lead of your strengths?
Let's do woo.
Woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo, woo. Okay.
Woo.
Now, folks, you may have misheard Janelle here, and woo is not short for what we often say as woo woo when we're referring to something that's spiritual or metaphysical or well, no. Woo actually is an acronym that is used within the Clifton Strengths, and it's an acronym for winning others over. Winning others over, not winning over others, winning others over. In other words, it's uh, well, I don't know. Janelle, tell us a little bit how woo manifests for you.
This one, out of all of my Clifton strengths, I took this back in 2019, and it's the only one that really stuck out to me because it's kind of who I am. I want to know people and I want to win them over and get a deeper understanding of who they are.
What an interesting juxtaposition of restorative problems, applesauce.
Yep.
Go with applesauce and woo. So you know what's coming next is which of the ingredients? I want to bring it down to the
Ingredients.
ingredient level. Yeah,
Oh, well, was somebody handing it to me, it would be the chocolate because
chocolate.
chocolate is life. So for me, the winning others over would be, I added some chocolate chips just for you.
Mm. So today we're talking about chocolate applesauce,
Chocolate
right?
applesauce.
Now, notice I never said these ingredients have to make sense, but I'm just thinking chocolate applesauce. I've never had it. I've had chocolate and applesauce probably in close proximity, right? But not something that included them. And that's kind of what I'm going for here with this ingredient idea is it may seem like they don't work together, but I bet you anybody who's listening to this has gotten a little bit of hunger, or they can smell the muffins baking, or they're reaching for a snack at this point or something, because those are two ingredients that are are, are wonderful, right?
Yeah.
This is fantastic because most people, when they get an assessment, whether it's strengths or whether it's their personality with Myers-Briggs or whatever those things, they see those words and they go, oh. And sometimes they go, oh, that's a word I like. And sometimes they go, that's a word I either don't understand or right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that those are words, those are items, items on an inventory. Ingredients are things that we put to use, we do something with. Now, I bet you on your shelf in your kitchen, there are some ingredients on some of the shelves that you probably haven't maybe touched for a little while. Is that
Yeah.
possible?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll speak for my shelf. There's lots of ingredients. Let's focus for the moment on the applesauce and the chocolate chips, the
Okay.
woo and restorative. So can you give us an example of when restorative or the being open to problems and solving them, either for yourself or another person, and woo, just being comfortable being with other people and wanting to be with other people, have kind of come together in some sort of muffin that maybe you haven't made yet, or it's a regular item on your tabletop.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is there's a soup that I made that I make, and I've had this soup many, many, many times and made it. And the recipe is actually a crock pot one. I've never made it in the crock pot. And over the years, I have added so many things to it and upgraded it. And it's a corn chowder that turned to a potato chowder that turned to a vegetable chowder that I will add my vegan sausage into. So it has I take those ingredients, I'm like, oh, I still have this. And how can I use this up? And I will take different ingredients and go, okay, um, and create my own recipe, basically.
Yeah. So for those of us listening to you say that just now, aside from getting hungry for chowder of whatever sort it is, I love chowder, is I'm hearing you say that you actually look forward to combinations of things that are maybe not the ones that are in the book. So it sounds like that's something that kind of lights you up a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So imagine if you can for me that you're going to an event that you've never been to before and you don't know, you're not sure if you know, you don't think you know anybody who's going to be there. What are you going to do?
I just talk to them and get to know them. And I'm laughing because I just did that 2 days ago.
Oh, is that right?
I did. I went to a women's conference just a couple days ago. So I didn't know anybody there. And I just sat there and I talked to all these different women and just with one I did it a little bit different. Usually I try to win them over. But I didn't even really have to, really. I just sat back. I wanted to just listen and get to know them. Um, so which another one of my strengths is includer. And so I just wanted
Mm,
to include them into the conversation and into our, because we had a table. So just include them into there was three of us talking, and then another lady came in, and I'm like, oh, making sure that she's added into this conversation and not being ignored.
yeah.
So yes.
Well, you just mentioned the strength includer, which doesn't take a lot of definition, and immediately a whole bunch of things clicked in my mind. Well, the jalapenos with the banana muffins, that's an includer, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who would have thought that this mythical recipe we've created, or actually recipes that you've brought together, would could be represented in these three strengths of yours,
Yeah. I
right?
just I just had the idea. What about an apple jalapeno muffin?
There- You know what? Why not?
Why
Why
not?
not? So the assessment measures the 34 different strengths at the time that you take the assessment and comes up with this profile, which is very complicated in the background, but in the foreground, it's 34 different strengths. And we've talked about three of yours, or two for sure, and a little we've mentioned includer, restorative, and woo. And there are 30, 31 other ones. But as I'm mentioning that they started as talents, and not everybody would have developed them the same way. So essentially, our strengths, the 34 strengths, are like almost like a fingerprint. There's no one else that other people will have the same 34 and maybe in the same order that you do, but no one will have the exact same uh, statistical ranking for them. Can you think of people in your life who, you know, align with what you have said and are kind of like, oh, I wonder if that person has woo, or I wonder if that person is sure comfortable dealing with life's challenges, for example. You're nodding. So
Yeah,
without
since
mentioning
I met
names,
you, since I met you, yes, we've talked about this more in depth. Yes, definitely. I've really have started looking at people a little bit more differently.
bring in one other concept before we wind this up today, and we've just really literally scratched the surface here, but a scratched the surface that is significant for many, many people, and that is connecting with others. Kind of coined a phrase, if you will. I've been calling your strengths your personal GPS:
Mm,
growth, possibility, and satisfaction.
mm,
But if we focus on how can we grow, how can I grow, how can you
mm,
grow? What are the
mm,
possibilities that are out there? There are always some possibilities, maybe
mm.
hard to determine, okay? And satisfaction. Notice I don't use the word success because satisfaction has to come first.
Yeah.
How many people do we all know? And we could spend another hour on this that are successful, and they're the most unhappy people that I've ever met.
Yeah. Yes.
So I just want to toss that out there as an idea. Growth, possibility, satisfaction.
Mm.
And you've just demonstrated, Janelle, how these three or three actually of your strengths. We start out with kind of fun. Oh, we're gonna make muffins that have applesauce and chocolate chips, and maybe jalapeno.
Yeah, maybe.
So include those bizarre elements, and then you had an experience that didn't quite fit into that. And I'm going to add in here so that our listeners would know this. You've written a book, right? And you mentioned you're an author. What's the title of your book?
You are your own lighthouse.
Really? You are your own lighthouse. Gosh, I don't think I need to say anything more. Janelle with Woo, restorative problem solving and includer is letting us know that she's got some wisdom about being a lighthouse
Mm,
for individual people, for you.
mm. Yeah.
Janelle, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today,
Always a pleasure with you, talking with you, Eric. Appreciate you.
and I look forward to our next opportunity. Thank you.
Me too.